Stage 11 of the Longines Global Champions Tour, deep in the German countryside, surrounded by horse lovers. We find ourselves in Riesenbeck, the beating heart of German show jumping. 10 Longines Global Champions Tour Super Grand Prix golden ticket winners have already been decided. Today we find out who is going to be number 11. A very, very strong German showing here today, and you can imagine that if any of these fantastic German riders are to win here this afternoon, the proverbial roof over Riesenbeck International is going to jump off. Arguably none better and none louder than that if it were to be Markus Eining, as the German veteran, the German hero, returns to home soil. You're only an hour down the road, so saying returns doesn't feel very right, but for a man who travels as much as you do, how does it feel to come back and actually be able to compete in a big show here in Germany?
Yeah, it's for us it's amazing. These facilities are really, really great. And I rode already here as a junior and young rider, so a long time already. I know the place a bit. Last year I was second here in the Grand Prix with the same horse, so he jumped yesterday great, and I'm quite hopeful for today.
I want to talk about Coolio in 2024 and Prix and Coolio yesterday, which was really good. But can we talk about your relationship with Ludger Beerbaum? I know you've known him for a very, very long time. The two of you go back many, many decades. How would you describe your relationship with Ludger?
Yeah, I think we are quite good friends, and he also knows a lot of secrets from myself, and I also from him. We rode championships together. We made a lot of tough Grand Prix together. So, yeah, it's a very good relation.
You mentioned Coolio last year. It was, I remember, I think just over 1 second. What do you remember from that jump off with Coolio last year? What's the memories you take out of it?
Yeah, last year it was a few of the first 5-star Grand Prix I had with him. But even now this year we grow more together, and I think we also even more competitive, hopefully, in the jump-off than last year, but last year I was already very happy with him.
The stable is sounding and feeling like it's looking very, very positive, very strong. Markus, Prix was clear in round 1. You then had Coolio clear in round 2. It was a perfect day for you in the GCL. I imagine momentum like that to jump back-to-back clears, different horses, to bring Coolio back. That's a wonderful build-up to a big LGCT Grand Prix.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't have it like this every week, but also these two horses, they are very experienced. I ride them now long enough, so we know each other quite well. But then it's always nice to have a clear round. It goes very quick that you have 1 or 2 down. So even with the day yesterday, I was more than happy, and hope we can do it also today.
I know we haven't walked the course just yet, but as a man that has competed here for many, many years, what do you normally expect when you come to an arena like this? Where can the challengers find themselves when you come to a place like Riesenbeck?
Yeah, I think there is not only one special place. I know Peter Schumacher, the course designer, also from riding-wise. And I know if he builds a course, it's quite tough and big. So we have to do our best today to get in the jump-off.
Having lost out to Thibaut Spitz as a surprise to many in 2024, I know you ride alongside Gilles Thomas in the GCL very often. What are your thoughts on this new generation of young rider that is being developed and coming through? What's your thoughts on the new youngsters that are being presented?
Yeah, there are always a couple of new ones, but like you say, Gilles in our team, he's such an amazing rider. And his record is really, really great. So first of all, we are very happy to have him on our team, and it's always good if coming other riders along and new generations. So it keeps the sport also quite fresh.
This is a very busy period that we have coming up now. From Riesenbeck, there's New York in a couple of days I want to ask you about, but it follows with shows in Vienna and Rome and Rabat and Riyadh. It's a really busy period now. I believe you're going off to New York in a couple of days already. What has the planning been like, having Coolio here, having Prix here? What does the planning look like for you and your team?
Yeah, the planning is quite important, even in our team. Lorenzo was injured now. He couldn't do a couple of shows, so I dropped in Vienna now. I have now here Riesenbeck, next week New York, and Priam is going then to Vienna again. So it's quite busy, and even for the team, we are very close in the lead, but we have to look the next shows that we get back to the podium.
Which horses do you take to New York?
In New York, I have River and Flower Girl. yeah, and then Prix is going to Vienna.
How does that feel for the stable now? I said earlier that it's feeling really strong, but the fact that you can have these two horses here and jump beautifully in Riesenbeck, you have two alternatives that can go to New York at the same time. Is it starting to feel like there are many very good options available to you each morning when you wake up and start working?
Yeah, it's not that you have many options, but important is that you have the right people around at home. They still work with the horses. If I'm here and the last days I couldn't ride them before they went to New York, and that is mainly very important. Yeah, and I'm lucky I have a few nice horses, and even for this kind of level. So I hope they're also doing well in New York.
Well, best of luck to you today. We'll see you again, maybe this afternoon. We'll wait and see. And then best of luck and regards to everyone 1 hour away in Borkan, as Marco Seining will be home later on tonight. A nice short drive away from Riesenbeck. Is tonight going to be the night where Coolio goes one better than what he did in 2024? We'll find out a little bit later on. But speaking about the special venue, speaking about the magic that certainly follows the Ludger Beerbaum stables, to put some perspective into it, that the Ludger Beerbaum stables over the years have contributed to 46 Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix podium finishes. A run that has spanned almost 2 decades. Ludger Beerbaum having won 20 podiums, earning 20 podiums over the last few years. Henrik von Ackermann 13 times. Philipp Weishaupt and Christian Kuckuck 12 between them. It is as near a show jumping dynasty as you will find in the world of show jumping. We decided to take some time to sit down with Ludger Beerbaum to learn about this incredible venue, the performance and the routine that goes into making magic at the Ludger Beerbaum stables.
Riesenbeck really is the beating heart of German show jumping, and it all came about through the hard work, vision and ingenuity of one man, Ludger Beerbaum. Starting the Beerbaum stables originally to develop elite show jumping potential, and then also the Riesenbeck International venue to host the world's very best show jumpers too. Many of those top show jumpers have come right through here as a training base and gone on to great things.
Believe it or not, there was not a clear vision from how it should be or how I wanted it to be. It just developed step by step. I mean, we started here 30 years ago with my yard to have horses, to train horses, to compete. And then this venue, this was also just happened. The people from this area, the Baron living in the castle, he approached me, said, we have a lot of space there at the Surenburg. Would this be something for you to host events? And that's how it all started. And yeah, I didn't think 10 years ago that we will be here today and host a GCT event like this with the best riders in the world competing. So
Riesenbeck and the Beerbaum stables, I think what we stand for is really horsemanship and having the best facilities for our sport. It's really a great team behind. This Beerbaum stables is a huge group of people, and I mean Riesenbeck is a great facility, but would be nothing without the people behind it.
It's been a wonderful experience. It's essentially I've shaped my life around me. It shaped me as a young man, shaped me as a rider, shaped me as a person, and still today I use most of the systems. So yeah, I guess it's been a lot of everything about me.
Yeah, it feels like my half of my life I'm here. It feels like home. I was there almost from the beginning, how everything grew, and it's cool to see how it developed, and I'm proud to be part of it.
It's just a way of being a horseman first. It doesn't matter. In my time here in Riesenbeck, I rode 3-year-old horses. We did loose jumping with 2-year-olds.
But it's a give and take. You know, people, young, committed people coming here to apply for a job, and we will start to work together. I mean, we talk about the few really good ones. There's also some which don't make it to the top, and they're still working and bringing along young horses. But this working together with committed, young, skilled people.
All these lessons together, I think, created in the end who I am now and made me actually possible to stand on my own feet and to hopefully create a successful own business.
The people behind are supporting. We have a lot of volunteers coming for the events and helping and having fun to do this, you know. And this is what drives us forward.
If you want to be successful in life, you need stability and consistency, and that's what that Lugge sort of everything is about. The training every day is this, you know, the same thing, all the little details, keeping it simple but keeping it super accurate. And I think over the years that builds confidence with horse and rider, and you see all the guys, especially they come here as young guys, and it's like I said, it's very much also a lifestyle. So the guys stay here over long term. They start on the young horses, educating young horses while educating themselves.
To see our success over the last decades, I think we are by miles the most successful show jumping stable in the world. I mean, the number of riders we have produced or came from our system.
We couldn't be more proud to host a GCT event here in Riesenbeck. GCL on Saturday and the Grand Prix. It's the peak of the sport, and so we are really, really proud.
It is that very routine, it is that very structure that has led to decades worth of success here at the Lugge Beerbaum stables, and it continues to produce results again and again and again and again. And we once more return now in 2025 for yet another Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix. Let's focus on what took place in the previous stage for just a second before we dive into rider reaction to the course walk, etc. Let's remind you as to what took place in the previous stage in the south of the Netherlands. Let's reflect on stage 10 in Valkenswaard.
Good afternoon, welcome. The scene is set for the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix 2025. This is the 10th leg of the series, and we're here in the home of the Global Champions Tour. We're in Valkenswaard. Now our focus turns. Gilles Thomas, he won in Paris. He's in the lead by a good distance. Calista Dien's only a 9-year-old though, by Emil van Ruddershoff out of Landetto mare. A lovely blend of scope, carefulness and power. That's what you need for a modern show jumper. Oh, he's really brave there. Pops the last. This has been a fantastic Grand Prix. Now, here we go. 6 strides. Whoa, sets up. Beautiful. Lets him finish the jump and now gallops across the arena. Look at this. Here he comes. Here he comes. The last fence. Pops it. Wow. Look at the time. 41:05. The crowd go ballistic. They've seen it. They were standing at the top of the arena. They know exactly what the challenge is. So what's he going to do? Now he's going to gallop up here. He has to keep coming. Has to keep coming. Now slow up. Now power out. And he's had the rail down. We have him new. We have a winner. Comes to the last. Has that as well. He's finishes second. He's going to get a golden ticket to the playoffs.
Yeah, okay. With 2 to go, and you know, Nikla's horse is also very fast. It's probably not the biggest stepper, but fast horse, fast rider. So I needed to put the pressure on.
Harry Smolders does it again in 2025, a second Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix win for the Dutchman this season already. Let's not forget that we are talking about a former season champion, that incredible season that he and Michael van der Vleuten went down to the final day of the season to be crowned a Longines Global Champions Tour champion. Harry Smolders does it in Valkenswaard, a fairy tale story for the Dutch in attendance. Let's show you what the rankings look like then after Valkenswaard. What is the impact of that stage on the overall rankings? Gilles Thomas did very well to earn some big championship points to help increase a very healthy lead. Andreas Schouw now moves into second. Christian Kuckuck now moves into third. Questions in and around Simon de Lestre, the man who won an LGCT Grand Prix earlier on this year, had difficulty in London, had difficulty in Valkenswaard. Because of that, he has now fallen down to 4th place. But let's not forget that Andreas Schouw is here and qualified. Christian Kuckuck here and qualified. Simon de Lestre, Michael van der Vleuten. They are all here trying to knock on the door and catch up with Gilles Thomas, the current championship leader. But it's important to not just look at the overall table. How are these riders performing per stage? That becomes a very important statistic throughout the year. Which riders are performing best per stage? Who is taking the most points out of their appearances each and every week on the Longines Global Champions Tour? Well, no surprises then that Gilles Thomas taking the most average points. He is averaging over 30 points per stage every single time that the Belgian comes out to compete on the Longines Global Champions Tour. He is averaging 30 points per stage. Christian Kuckuck, then, the second best performer. And today, it will only be his 7th score. Gilles Thomas has already collected 8 scores. He can only improve on his tally going forward here, whereas Christian Kuckuck is in prime position with 2 scores still to add to his name. Simon de Lestre has an 8th score to add. Hopefully today he will put up some big points and try and climb up the table even further. Andreas Skau averaging just below him at 21.63, ahead of Natalie Dean and Michael van der Vleuten, who also has an 8th score to qualify later on today. No surprises, though, that here in Riesenbeck, a lot of the attention is going to fall on the shoulders of Christian Kuckuck. We spoke about a championship run of Harry Smolders alongside Michael van der Vleuten. Well, if you fast forward it a few years later, that championship run between Max Kuhne, the eventual champion, and Christian Kuckuck was equally thrilling. Losing out right at the end to Max Kuhne, Christian Kuckuck now once again looking to take another stab at becoming a Longines Global Champions Tour season champion. Here on home soil, with all the support behind him, could be a fantastic afternoon for the German. Let's hear from Christian Kuckuck.
How do you see the opportunity this weekend on home soil to try and, really put pressure on Gilles Thomas?
Well, in general, I have to be honest, I think Gilles is quite far away, and if nothing strange happens to him, he will win the overall. He has such a good year. He has an unbelievable horsepower. He is an unbelievable rider. He brings it on the point. He's on a wave. I remember we also had that one year, and it's nice, that feeling. But I cannot really see that wave ending with him, so I think he's far away. But anyway, I'm now in a good position. I also have good horses. I have Just Be Gentle and George here, as you said. I'm excited for the Grand Prix on Sunday. I have a good feeling. My plan is to jump Just Be Gentle. I jumped her today. She felt great, so I'm really looking forward for that. And then I will see if I can put a little bit of pressure on him. I would like to, for sure. But as I said, I don't really feel that matters how many pressure we put on him. He's quite far away.
Good start time for Christian Kuckuck and Just Be Gentle, by the way. 31st to go. They will have a lot of opportunity to watch the riders before them to see how they perform. Can it be a fairy tale finish for Christian Kuckuck later on tonight? But a man that we spoke about a little bit earlier on is that of Simon de Lestre, the Frenchman. Had a wonderful middle part of the season in the summer where he was superb, in great form with Cayman Jolly Jumper, going on to win an LGCT title earlier on this year along the French Riviera. But then had some difficulty, failed to qualify in London, failed to qualify in Valkenswaard, picking up 0 points from those Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix. But he is back today and has qualified superbly on NASCAR. He'll be 38th to go. Is this then going to be the stage, the comeback stage for the Frenchman? We caught up with Simon to get his thoughts.
Simon, the highs and lows of international sport. You win an LGCT Grand Prix in Monaco, and then it didn't go so well the last 2 legs. What's happened?
Okay, it's a sport like that. Always depends how in form are the horses. Dexter, I have bad luck in London, so doesn't work. And in Valkenswaard, I have one don't just put me out of the Grand Prix. So it's how it is. But the horses are in good form, and so now for the rest of the season, I hope I can really fight strong.
Have you had time since Valkenswaard to just go away and work on anything?
Okay, I have also many bit less experienced horses to produce, so I a little bit focus on this. I really want to push the younger one to come. Now I have good 8-9-year-old, but it's always the same. It takes a bit time that they have really the right level to jump clear this level, but they had to start, and it's not when they start they're gonna win direct, but they will do, and I had to push them a little bit also.
4th in the table. It's a great position for you to be in with so many stages left to go. What is the plan from here on in to try and be up the top of the table, as I know you really want to be?
Yeah, then I have Vienna. I will try to put Golden, 9-year-old, really have a good season this year. He will jump tomorrow both round of the league. And Gassin 5-star first-time Grand Prix next week, and I hope he's really ready for Vienna.
Despite those blips in London and in Valkenswaard, based on the performances of the season and based on today's qualifying position, you get the impression that Simon de Lestre still has a lot to offer and will still be a serious threat come the end of the season by the time we get to the finals in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in Riyadh later on this year. Let's talk about the start list. Let's go to Dan Strange. We saw him talking to Kukuk. We saw side
quality
good on you.
In third, very early on, Jana
in front of
Fredrika.
us today, and who is looking good?
Yeah, thanks, Mark. It's a very, very packed start list, a real high-quality LGCT Grand Prix, this one. Third in is Jana Fredrika Meyer-Zimmermann, one of the many German riders in. She, of course, won in Monaco in 2024. She rides Iron Dame's Dubai de Cedra, a former LGCT Super Grand Prix winner back in 2023. Fourth in is Harry Schmolders. Well, Harry's won twice this season already, including in Valkenswaard last time out. Harry rides Bingo de Park this time, not Monaco. The horse, he's won twice to victory in LGCT Grand Prix this year. Fifth, a tough weekend for Dennis Lynch. If he can pull off a win today for the first time in 2008, that really would show the skill of the man. 11th in is Duarte Seabra on Dorados, who's going really well. His 9-year-old son is here watching, has been here all weekend. 15th on the start list is Yoli Maitilaneo. She, of course, the Greek rider, won in Madrid. Can she win twice in a season here? Let's wait to see. Next, there's an array of Germans. Johnny Sprayer, Christian Arman, Richie Vogel. Don't bet against him winning today. 25th on the start list is Kim Emmen of the Netherlands. She was third in Monaco this season. The form of Imagine NOP is absolutely huge this year at 1.60 meters. The glutter quality then comes quickly. Niels Brunsils, Katrin Eckermann, local rider, Marcus Eining of Germany as well, and Mexico 2025's LGCT Grand Prix winner, Emmanuel Camilli, who of course is based here at Beerbaum Stable, 2. Into the last 10, and the quality just keeps coming. Christian Kukuk, the local lad on Just Be Gentle, who's won an LGCT Grand Prix in Doha previously, and Christian has finished second in London last year as well. Steely Dan and Henrik von Eckermann come in 34th. And then you're on to the real big guns in terms of the season standings, because Andreas Scout comes in, 37th overall. He's second in the standings, rides Dark Deluxe, who has a 50% strike rate at 1.60 meters. And he won in Monaco. Simon de Lestre, 38th to come in. Can he win it again? He missed the last two LGCT Grand Prix. Mark, back to you.
All right, Dan Strange, thank you very much for giving us an update on who then to look out for in today's LGCT Grand Prix. The best 40 riders in Germany, all here competing for the top prize. Marlon Bayer-Johnsen has qualified for the Grand Prix, but has taken the decision to not compete in today's event. It would have been another opportunity for us to see the incredible H&M Indiana, but that is the horsemanship of Marlon Bayer-Johnsen, knowing that now her horse that has gone all around the world and won absolutely everything will begin to dictate how and when the competitions should be coming around. We took some time to sit down with the Swede and get to learn a little bit more about this incredible pairing of Bayer-Johnsen and H&M Indiana.
She means the world to me, of course. We've been, I've ridden her for more than 10 years. We have 11 seasons. We've been through so much, and she's given me so many achievements and so much success through the years. And she's forced me to keep young in my mind. She's so special and so different. So, you always have to be aware of who she is on every day.
You say she's so different. When you first started riding her, she was, I think it's fair to say, seen as quite a difficult horse to ride. How did you approach that?
Well, she was nearly, it felt nearly impossible the first year at least, nearly a couple of years, and I was pulling my hair, and it was so hard to understand her, but also make yourself understood. And that's what it's all about, the partnership between horse and rider. And normally I also had to be so quiet with her because she was so sensitive. So it was very hard. Now, there was a lot of times where I did not think I could pull this one through. But then all of a sudden it did actually just turn. And she has the biggest of hearts. She's probably the friendliest horse I've ever had. I've had to have so much patience, but I've also had to be very aware of where she is and what she wants. You often see me in the warm-up, I'm standing in a corner. I always, when I get to the show, I go to the warm-up and I let her find her corner. It's also a thing because she gets really wound up in the warm-up. She's a bit stressed with the horses and she's a bit anxious to start jumping, and she winds herself up, and once she's found a corner, I can go to that corner and then she totally relaxes. And then off we go again and back to the corner and she's relaxed again. You know, so little things that I never ever get on close to the ring. I always get on in the stable before every class. I've done that now for 11 seasons. We have learned, me and my brilliant Lina, who is her person, how to keep her calm and happy, and to do it her way. We've learned to do it Indiana way.
I don't really want to mention retirement, but all horses do come to the point where they do stop competing. Have you thought about that with her? Is there a retirement and a progression plan beyond Indiana as well?
Well, you know, she's 17, she's soon turning 18, and of course that day will come. It's obvious, and I'm, you know, every nice round we get together, it's like a bonus. She's done so much for me and with me, and I'm so happy about that. So, you know, I'm just enjoying one round at a time. And yeah, I've been around for a long, long time, so there has been a lot of special horses, but I would say she's for sure a horse of a lifetime. We built up a great relationship. I trust her, but she trusts me probably even more. You know, she's a kind of one-person horse. She has so many people around her that have totally understood her. Like, again, Lina, that travels the world with her, that's her person. I am her rider, for sure, but she also has her vet that totally understands her, the blacksmiths. Everyone knows. You even have the judges at the show, they know, oh, here's Indiana, let her stand where she wants, and this and that, you know. So it's somehow most people around her have had to adjust a little bit in how we do things because of her, because she's so special, and we're all really happy to do it as well, because again, she is special. Year after year after year, and I think the LGCT has been perfect for Indiana because it builds her up through the weekend. You start a bit smaller with a warm-up the first day, and then you jump a bit bigger the second day, and the last day is the biggest, and then, you know, she's so confident and so brave, and me too, and that, you know, has made us have so much success on the last day, as well as the first and second day, to be honest.
Isn't the most incredible thing to take out of that there is something regarded as the Indiana way? And I think that after having performed the way she has over the last decade, that Indiana has earned her own way. And Malin Jonsson and her team have now learned to work alongside that and get the absolute best out of what she has described as a horse of a lifetime. H&M Indiana and Malin Jonsson will not be competing in today's LGCT Grand Prix, but there is still a long season to come, and we know that there will be appearances from those two magnificent athletes still later on. Let's talk about what has been built here this afternoon. What is going to be the challenge that lies in wait for the riders? Dan Strange catches up with Oliver Lazarus to get some thoughts.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. We're in the arena ahead of this amazing Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix. I've got Ollie Lazarus here. Ollie, you've had a look at the course. We're right in the middle of 2, the roll back to 3, and then 4. Yep. What are your initial thoughts?
Well, you know, first of all, we're in Germany, so you always know you're going to be jumping big jumps. Secondly, with Global Tour Grand Prix, big jumps again, and that's what we've got today. We've got a massive arena, and the jumps, the ring shows its size and the jumps show their size.
It gets going very early, you'd imagine that in a Grand Prix. So we're just going to come this way. We're over the Oxer with the Liverpool underneath at 4.
Yep.
Early thoughts here, and then we're coming into this big triple combination.
Yeah, so literally you start off with 1, you have a long way down, that looks like a standard 10 strides, but you know, always in these type of rings, it's all about rhythm. So you're trying to keep an easy, steady rhythm, not too wide around, just for the time. You have a tall Prague playoff, land 4 strides to your water tray Oxer. Again, you don't want to push them deep, but it's a big enough Oxer to start off the course. So you need a little bit of pressure, a little bit of hand, and then we have running down to the combination. I'm sure some riders will try and fit 8 strides in here, but that walks like a 7. When we're running down the hill, you've made a big push on the Oxer. I think if you keep your body forward, let them glide down, and your last 3 strides, you really anchor down, and you try and be really slow and passive coming in on A. You have 2 strides, B, and then you push out over C. So yeah, combinations are always a talking point in every Grand Prix, but especially this being quite careful, tall coming in and running a little downhill. Then we continue our rhythm around. We have an airy vertical, see only 3 bars with a false water tray. That one, again, you have a big effort over the combination. The horses have used a lot of power and scope. It's going to be a rider's jump, that, trying to get your horse balanced, trying to keep the breath in them. And then we have an outside 9 strides. You don't want to land on the inside and get that too static, because that's a big Oxer coming in, and you could potentially have a back bar. So we try to stay a little outside, keep our rhythm, and we have the double there, the green double. Then it looks like it walks a very normal 6 strides up to number 8, the Longines Oxer, outside 7 to your black plank there. That's also going to take a little bit of jumping. It's a very, very thin plank, very airy. Yeah, so I think the riders, again, that's going to be a rider's jump, staying patient, not getting excited, and staying on the outside.
If we just jump forward then, 13, you're coming in clear, you've then got a big vertical and a tasty Oxer to finish right in front of VIP. It's a really difficult course.
Yeah, so that's where you've got to stay in the present. You know, emotions are going to start getting the best of us. A lot of money, you're excited, I'm clear, this could be my day. You've got to, when we walked the course earlier, you go over number 12, and if you're clear, you've got to think of the time, but that's a very tall vertical. So you've got to take a deep breath, balance your horse up, give yourself, I think, that time over the vertical, pick momentum up, and you want to ride out of the turn. You don't want to be static on the last jump. So you need a good rhythm out the turn and trust your horse's ability.
Ollie, great analysis. Thank you and good luck to you for today. Mark, back to you in the studio.
Thank you.
Rhythm and trust, that's required of many, many other things, of course, to go on and become a champion later on today. That music around the PA system here signals that we are ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Riesenbeck is next.
Welcome to the Longines Global Champions Tour 2025. The next stop, Riesenbeck in northwest Germany, ready for the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix, and a thrilling competition in prospect in a part of Germany that is renowned for producing not only great equine talent, but also great riding talent as well. This is the home of so many star riders and have emerged through the years here, but a big crowd assembling under partly cloudy skies and 18 degrees, actually a very pleasant afternoon here in Riesenbeck for this Grand Prix, the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix, and the scene is set and the course has been prepared, and thankfully we've had quite a lot of rain in the area during the build-up, but during the 3 days of competition we haven't had too many showers, and nice drying conditions have helped the ground here at Riesenbeck for this afternoon's feature class. And it really should be an intriguing one, a competitive one. A world-class array of talent has been assembled here, both equine and human, to compete. So I think we're in for another thrilling ride. So looking at previous winners, well, Thibaut Spitz won last year. He's not here this week, but Harry Schmolders is. And he's coming in off what is promising to be a very good season on the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix circuit. So here in Riesenbeck, it's looking to back up recent wins as well. So a lot at stake for Harry Schmolders as he bids to try and retain his crown. A prolific winner on the Longines Global Champions Tour. And Harry will be one of the earlier starters. Well, here are the current overall rankings. And looking at Christian Koekkoek is in action here, as is Simon de Lest and Michael van der Vleuten. They're all competing here. So they will be looking to close near the top. Dennis Lynch, Max also here. And looking at some of the others, Harry Schmolders there, you see currently lying 16th. And he's been very good on a couple of occasions this season, hence the reason why his prominent position near the top of the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix standings. Now let's take a look at what Frank Rothenberger has created here this afternoon. And it's a meaty course, it's punchy, it is going to take some jumping, there's no two ways about that, but it should be a fair examination as we start with the first fence, 150 height, just easing on in, but then it starts to get testing straight away. First up 158, then an immediate roll back to a 160 upright. That just might catch a few out. Then we come to a big spread there, 160, 153. Then to the combination, 2 strides in. First is 158, then you come forward to the second part, 2 strides, and it is 158, that middle part. Then 1 strides to the final part, 152 with a 160 spread. So no let up there. You've got to keep it going all the way through that combination. Then it is a turn back round to 6, which is a water tray, Liverpool. That stands at 160. Then to the second combination, the double at 7A and B. And it's a 153, 160 start, and then the second part, height of 160s. We look on from it, as you can see, testing, but 1 stride through what will be 7B. Then a related distance to the next, expected to be 6 strides to 8, with a 155 and a 170 spread. So that will take some jumping. And then you've got to run to the next, which could catch out. There's a tricky little upright there at 160, and then a roll back to fence 10. 153 and 160 is that particular obstacle. Then coming down the side of arena to a triple bar that stands at 160 with a 2 meter, but then a run, a related distance to an upright at height at 160. It will maybe catch the inexperienced out. Then to 13, bit of a run to 13, 160, and then a turn back to the final fence, which is a big one, big oxer, 153 with a 170 spread to finish in front of the VIP tent here at Riesenbeck. As you can see, long and testing, and will offer no real let-up. But talking to the riders, reckon it's a fair test on ground that is stood up well, given the conditions we've had here. The crowd getting into the grandstands here, big crowd basking in September sunshine for the action here. And here is the starting order. First up will be the local rider Stefan Engbers. He will be amongst the early starters. Harry Schmolders will be fourth to go. Be interesting to see how he gets on with this horse, not the horse that's been giving him success this season. Some of the other names coming down there, Max Watchman had a good weekend, and from Greece, Iolo Mirzitaneo has impressed this season, winning in Madrid. Others to watch out for: Christian Ullmann will be 18th to go. Richard Vogel, and we'll have lots of local support for him as well, and he will be 20th to go, the talented young German. Then looking at some of the later contenders, Marcus Enning, Michael van der Vleuten, Christian Koekkoek, who's based here, riding Just Be Gentle, will, I'm sure, be there or thereabouts. He'll be 31st to go of the 40. Henrik von Eckermann, some star names bringing the curtain down on the first round. Michael Pender, who went very quick yesterday in the qualifying class on HHS Los Angeles, the young Irishman at 25, will be last of the contenders here. So we're getting ready to begin this latest leg of the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix time here in Riesenbeck. Lovely, picturesque, tree-lined venue, as I say, in real horse country here. Of course, Germany renowned for producing so many top-class jumpers over the years, and this place based with Ludger Beerbaum, obviously based here, and he has helped so many riders through his academy here. Amongst those, Henrik von Eckermann spent a lot of time here. Christian Cook has his stables here, and I know he's got many a family and friends here to watch him maybe add to his roll of honor at the highest level. So the fanfare heralds our first competitor here in Riesenbeck, and it is the German rider Stefan Engbergs coming in as he begins on Baju. And the 43-year-old on Baju, and I believe this 12-year-old Gray actually got in here because there were 3 withdrawals from the original top 40 from yesterday's qualification. So getting in, and I think this is his first time in a Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix. So let's see how he copes here and where he may find the odd danger which could signal for the others to keep an eye on. But he's on his way now, jumping that 4 Seasons fence. The first comes down to fence number 2, and that one stands at 1:58. Then this roll back. Time allowed is 86 seconds. And the big spread there. Now to the combination coming on diagonally down the arena, and nicely through that. A long run to the next, number 6. Pings that one well enough. Now to the double. 160 the first part. The spread on that, and 160 the second part. Now to 8, now to 9. And this is a pleasing enough start for Stefan Engbergs. Now the triple bar. Oh, and just got that wrong. That'll be disappointing. There's a 2-meter spread there on that triple bar. And now the roll back to the final fence. So just picking up some time, folks, there, 87.64, so he finishes with 6, but not a bad round. Just that triple bar catching him out and just taking it a little easy.
The Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Riesenbeck is officially underway. The sun is shining. We are deep in the German countryside. If you want to join us for the rest of today's field, today's class is sensationally packed with champions. Come make and get your GCTV live pass. We'll hopefully see you here in Riesenbeck for the rest of the LGCT Grand Prix of Riesenbeck. Sign up for your GCTV live pass now.